Hi, so thank you for joining me today. I am going to talk about what I've learned from being vulnerable on YouTube. And so I am Kimberly Carter. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. And yeah, just I've been talking for the past week or so about the benefits and the possibilities of you starting your own YouTube channel. And I'm sharing what I've learned, my experiences, and how they've impacted my journey on my own YouTube channel. And so I've shared previously that I've overcome a lot just by being on YouTube, being open, being vulnerable, just allowing myself to share parts of my story. And when I say share on YouTube, I'm not suggesting that you share in everything about yourself because you do have to keep some things private. I'm saying that, you just, if you want to start. Don't share everything. Pick one aspect of your life, an area that you have truly overcome in, and you can share that. Doesn't have to be all of your business. It doesn't have to be everything, right? Yeah, so I'm just teaching how to do that. And so today I'm going to talk about what I've learned from being vulnerable. And so vulnerability for me has been an area that I've definitely had to push, to grow in, to challenge myself in. I'm a very private person, as I can imagine most people are, right? I can be selective about what I share, but I'm telling you, vulnerability will open up opportunities for you. First of all, if you want to decide how to be vulnerable, what to be vulnerable about, again, I suggest choosing an area where you've already overcome something, an area that you've already had success in. It could be something, for example, like I like to share about overcoming imposter syndrome. I like to share about developing self confidence. I like to share about those areas because I know how it feels to not succeed in those areas, to be down bad, as they say, in those areas. I've experienced that. And then I've also experienced a healing journey to the point that I've overcome some of those low self confidence things that had tried to define me. I've learned to overcome imposter syndrome. What does that even mean, really, imposter syndrome? If you start, for example, something new, like a YouTube channel or whatever venture it is, you're not going to start as an expert. So I don't know, for me, I don't know why I was telling myself that I just needed to, out the gate, be perfect at something. Even now, I've been on YouTube for a few months. When you look at my previous videos, they're not, I'm growing, right? They're not the same as the videos you're viewing right now. And so to even have imposter syndrome is a little bit ridiculous, is what I figured out for myself, because I'm not an imposter. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm an achiever. I'm someone who's just continuing my growth journey. And I want you to understand that about yourself too. And so, again, that's just one example where you can start sharing. And the way I overcame imposter syndrome is just by journaling, is a practice that I used, by building myself up, by continuing whatever it was that I had started so that I became more comfortable in it. That's it. That's the way that you start to overcome these feelings of self-doubt, right? Um, and so also sharing and being vulnerable, especially building community here on YouTube, can help you create community, can help you open up to different communities. So of course, YouTube is going off an algorithm. So if you're looking for videos on overcoming low self confidence, it's just going to keep suggesting more and more and more videos on that topic. And then you're curating your own experience, right? And in that, you're building your own community. And then once you decide to start sharing your journey, you then can become the person who someone is seeking out again and build your community, attract who's supposed to be benefiting from what you're sharing on YouTube, right? Again, this all starts from being open and being vulnerable about an area in your life where you have grown, where you still are growing. I'm not suggesting that you wait until you're 100% arrived. in whatever area you share. So, for example, yes, I still have to do the work, the inner work, right? To overcome self doubt, to overcome feelings of being an imposter. I share a lot about my story of being an adoptee. Well, being an adoptee for me came with feelings of being an imposter since I was raised in a family that was not biologically my own. And so, just because of what I had gone through, I automatically spent a lot of time as a young person in my 20s, in my 30s, even feeling out of place, feeling like an imposter. Am I pretending to be someone I'm not? All of these just different feelings, this self doubt, these thoughts that kept trying to overtake me, right? And so when I'm sharing about overcoming imposter syndrome, I'm being literal and figurative. I'm saying it from every aspect that you can think of it as, right? I'm really putting myself out there. I'm doing what I'm telling you to do. I'm being vulnerable about this struggle. I'm being vulnerable about how I've overcome and am still doing the work to overcome the struggle, right, of being an imposter. And so I just want you to know, opening up parts of your story and being vulnerable is not the end of the world, but it can definitely be the start of a new world of freedom for you and for the people who watch your content. Again, you're sharing this and you're sharing it with the hopes that other people find your content and that they can be inspired, that they can see themselves in parts of your story, and that they can start overcoming like whatever the struggle is that you're talking about. Now, I'm sharing what I'm sharing about self-confidence and overcoming imposter syndrome. But you may want to start a YouTube channel and just teach people how to be good at taking care of plants, right? For example, you're still sharing. Maybe you started off not so great in that area of plant care and you've grown. And so from that, you can share with other people like, hey, yeah, I made this mistake. I may have overwatered this plant. I may have underwatered this plant, but now I'm here to teach you how to do it at the right pace and share with you that I've messed it up. And then I've also circled back around to get it right. So that's what I mean by being vulnerable, but I'm also saying share in an area where you have overcome, so that as you're being vulnerable, you're leaving your audience with hope, so that you're leaving your audience with a blueprint and with an understanding that, yes, maybe I am struggling here right now, but according to Kimberly Carter, I'm not always going to be here. According to whatever your name is, I have potential to not stay here. And so that's the place that you're sharing from. And so also I want to share that opportunities are wrapped up in your willingness to be vulnerable. Now, for me, that was counterintuitive, right? I had always had the mindset of I should keep these things to myself because they're private and they're going to cause people to see me in a different light. But as I started coming out of my shell after I walked through my journey of healing, I started recognizing that there are some people and some spaces of connection where the vulnerability was going to open up an opportunity for me, where it was going to create an opportunity, where it was going to create connection and community. And so, for example, if you start talking about whatever it is, for me, it'll be overcoming low self-confidence. You could be invited to speak on a podcast. You could be invited. Someone can see your content and they'll say, I want to have this person on. I need them to talk to my audience. I need them because I always talk to my audience, but I need outside voices that also are resonating with the message so that my audience can see it from another perspective. The truth is, since we're all in community on the earth together, shared experiences and opportunities for community and connection is what's going to help us get to our next level. It's going to help you. Again, I had an opposite mindset. I had a mindset of, let me keep these things to myself. This is private. I grew up in a household where it was like, don't tell all your business. And again, I'm not saying tell all your business. I'm saying pick one area where you can share and help other people. That doesn't mean you have to tell all of your private business, right? You can pick and choose even what part of that story to share. If it's an area where you're not so healed in, I wouldn't share about it yet. I would continue the work of healing and becoming better and then open that up. And so, again, today I just wanted to tell you what I've learned from being vulnerable on YouTube, which is that vulnerability creates opportunities to connect with others. It creates communities. It expands my community. It helps me to see myself in a different light. The Kimberly that's talking about this now isn't the Kimberly from 10 years ago who couldn't even formulate a sentence about certain things that I was overcoming. Right? I'm talking about my journey as an adoptee that reconnected to my birth family. I couldn't talk about it 10 years ago. I didn't have the vocabulary. I didn't have the healing yet. I did not have the understanding to be able to articulate, communicate, and share about how that felt and what I had walked through. I didn't quite have it 10 years ago, but I have it now. And so that's just what I'm saying about YouTube, is that I can now, through these videos, I can look back and say, wow, you've grown. Wow, you've healed and evolved, and you really, truly have emerged and changed from this situation. This situation didn't leave you bitter, but it left you better, to quote Lecrae. And so, again, I just want to tell you and encourage you, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, hey, go ahead and jump in, share about areas of transformation for you, share about areas of growth, and have that sense of vulnerability with your audience where you can connect with your audience. And so, again, I'm Kimberly Carter, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great one.